lots to talk about today. I wanted to start off with my club, Manchester United, and some transfer stories surrounding us, because how we're playing is what it is. We know the manager's coming to an end, but the club, I'm actually quite happy we're linked to players now as opposed to waiting for the manager, because that shows it's going to be a club plan and you can start work on the players before the manager comes in, because it's all going to sing off the same hymn sheet. But according to reports from some really credible sources, Ivan Toney is a central figure for Man United's summer recruitment plans. They don't want to get into a bidding war, but Man United reportedly are quite confident in their ability to land Toney with minimal competition, especially with the likes of Arsenal now looking elsewhere. Question for you two, first of all. Is, in your opinion, Ivan Toney a good addition to the Man United squad come the summer?
I think it is. I think it's a good addition. He's a quality striker. He's done it at Brentford, and the fact that he had so much of a long layoff and came back and hit the ground running is good. I worry about his attitude at times. I don't know, the way he's treated Brentford, and he's been quite disrespectful to the club at times. I don't know if he'd carry that over to a bigger club. I think that would be a sound first signing, depending on the price. And this is the thing: if Arsenal are truly moving on, we hear about how he's twerked for Arsenal and he's supposed to be an Arsenal fan. That's why this has surprised me. I thought that would be their first choice before they move on to other targets. So if the path is open for Man United, it makes it much easier for you to negotiate and try and get a decent price. What you would be looking to pay, I'm not sure really and truly what he's looking for. Because look, if you can get him for like 60 mil, 70 mil, that'd be ideal. If you're pushing it up, you've got that squad needs a rebuild. So I don't know what your budget is, especially you've got a new manager. So you don't want to be splashing it all on one player. So it's going to be interesting. But yeah, man, good player, build around him, finally get a decent goal scorer. And you got Højlund as well. It's going to be very interesting.
Match made in heaven, bro. Match made in heaven. Very good player, but toxic. Match made in heaven between Manchester United and Ivan Toney. Absolutely brilliant. I actually think it's absolutely.
Why is he toxic? Why is he toxic?
He's not toxic. Calling out his club twice because a girl asked him to.
Okay.
Come on, Terry. You know what I'm talking about. The ego.
Hang on. Let me respond. Okay.
He's a good player, though. I like him.
He is a good player. Let me just say this now. What he did was a bad look, but it wasn't toxic. He was trying to impress, if I remember correctly, a very attractive girl because he wanted some of the horizontal hula. That's not toxic. That's just cool. Like, is what it is.
If you got to do that and throw your club, when you're a football player who gets paid a lot of money to get a female, you got to do that. I'm worried for you.
If he plays for Man United and Marcus Rashford asked him to go out to Norway or something, what do you think he's going to do, bro? What do you think he's going to do?
I find funny about it, right? Do you know what I find funny about it? I've seen a lot of Arsenal fans in the last few days since the links to Man United have come up. All I've seen for 12 months, if not more, is Arsenal fans, and in front of most fans, talk about how good Ivan Toney is. Suddenly, United linked to him, and everybody's looking for all the problems and the issues and why it wouldn't be a good signing. And their clubs are linked with him, Chelsea especially as well, at 80, 90 million pounds. The reports coming out now, he's available between 30 and 50. If we end up getting him for half the price what the Arsenals and Chelseas and co were quoted, and it's suddenly, he's a really bad player. I think he's excellent. He's a player that, we haven't been linked to this whole time. But Arsenal have been for a couple of years. I was exceedingly jealous of them being linked to him. I think he's excellent. And I think that as talented as I believe Rasmus Højlund is, I think he needs somebody of experience around him, maybe even playing ahead of him to begin with. I think he's not had too much football per se, but it's a very difficult role to learn in the Premier League. Some people, at a young age, 18, 19, 20, 21, they have it down already, but that's rare. Most players develop into themselves over time. So I'd be really happy with this, especially if the prices are right, especially if we're talking £40 million, because in 2024, that's quite a low.
Yeah. I wanted to add to what you said. What you said is fantastic.
Goal scoring,
What you said is fantastic. I actually think Ivan Toney, okay, forget the jokes and the toxics and all the stuff. On a real note, on a footballing note, Ivan Toney to Manchester United offers something completely different than every player they have. He offers flexibility, adaptability. if you hire the Zerbi, which is if the news are right, if what I'm hearing is right, and Nagelsmann is going to go back to Bayern Munich, and the Zerbi is the one who's going to be linked to Manchester United. The Zerbi likes sometimes to play with 2 forward players. The plan isn't only 4-3-3. Ivan Toney with Rasmus Højlund, I think Rasmus Højlund will learn from him. I think they can play with each other. I think he provides a new way of playing that Man United don't have. And I think he suits Manchester United. I think he is with the age profile that you have, with the Amads, you know what I mean, with the Rasmus Højlunds, you know, with Kobe Mainoo. I think someone like Ivan Toney would be very, very good, at least to be an experienced player along Bruno Fernandes. I think if he provides a lot of options. He's a very, very good player. I like him. I don't think he suited Arsenal, the position-based team. I think he suits more maybe someone like playing that in a transition-based football, or someone that moves quick. I don't know, but I think Ivan Toney suits Manchester United more than Arsenal, in my opinion. Someone like Alexander Isak suits Arsenal more. I think Ivan Toney, if he goes to Man United, I think he will be a massive success for you. Massive.
Arsenal can't afford Isak, in my opinion. The price that they're going to want. And this thing, Watkins and Isak, I think are both going to be very expensive. If that's true, we're talking between 30 and 50 million. Even based on what you said, Mo, about him being a better fit for Man United, just on that price alone, if I'm Arsenal, you're getting like a quarter of the price, then you'd get potentially a quarter of the price than you pay for an Isak.
I think Arsenal are going for the guy that I don't know his name. I can't pronounce his name. The guy that plays for Sporting Lisbon, Djursek or whatever his name is. The guy that scores goals left and right.
Gyökeres, yeah.
Gyökeres. I don't know why Arsenal moved on from Ivan Toney, but I think it's because of the age profile. They don't want to sign someone who's 29 years old. They want someone who is a little bit younger. I don't think, and this is why I don't think Ollie Watkins is on the table for them. I don't think Ollie Watkins would leave Aston Villa to go to Arsenal just because of the price, and because unless Arsenal offer him 4-year contract, which I don't think is going to happen. He's not going to go to Arsenal and get like a 2-year contract or something. I think Ivan Toney to Man United makes a lot of sense. A kind of like a relegation club to a mid-table club is a good move for Ivan Toney. It's very, very good. Depends where Man United are next season. Depends what you get as a manager. But I like it. I'm excited. As a neutral, I'm actually very excited about seeing Ivan Toney at Man United.
But we don't know where they're going to be.
I'm joking. Season. I actually think I don't want to see bad players go to Manchester United. Not. I want to see Manchester United maybe not win titles, but I don't want to see Manchester United being 9th, because I believe they're going to finish 8th this season. I want to see Man United be like 6th or 7th or 5th, something like this.
They could potentially be in the Conference League next season. Do you think that's going to impact signings? You think Ivan Toney, the pool of Man United is going to override that? And, there could be competition from other clubs. Like I said, Chelsea, if they do end up making up ground and they're not that, we've got a game in hand, they could finish above Man United. There's so many variables.
Do you know what? I think, look, being in the Conference League or the Europa League, I know that Ivan Toney's always said he wants the Champions League, but Chelsea are an option, but they look like they're not going to have the Champions League either. If Arsenal are pulling away, it changes the landscape. I think if Arsenal go in for him, it's going to be hard for Man United because they've got that Champions League guaranteed for next year. We don't. But if Ivan Toney's faced with the rebuild at Man United or staying at Brentford, I think he's going to come to Manchester United. I think that because it's either going to be that or a new deal. And that's essentially his last chance at playing for a giant club. And I know Man United are not in a good position right now, but there is still a different expectation and pressure and attention that you get playing for a team like Man United, with all due respect to Brentford, as compared to them. And so I don't think there'll be an issue with signing players like him. We're also linked to a few other individuals that I think are really worthwhile, like fans focusing on. Paulinho is another player that Man United are very, very keen on this summer from Fulham. Again, I know we want younger players coming in, but we've seen what happened. I keep seeing people go no to it today. He's too old. Look, yes, it's great to go and buy lots and lots of youngsters, but we've seen another team do that in the Premier League and it hasn't worked. So I can't fathom this idea that we shouldn't buy experienced players. We're linked to Thuram. Obviously, he's at Nice. You'd think that would be a little bit easier for Man United to get done because of the connections there. But if we were to add a Paulinia and a Thuram to the squad, maybe a Toney and a Branthwaite, those 4 deals and maybe a couple of youngsters year one, with 5 or 6 players leaving, plus the fringe players that are even out on loan at the minute. You do that year one, bring in the right manager, start off with a good style of football. I think year one we could have a good season. We're only like a few wins away from being in top 4 contention this year when we're crap. You add 4 or 5 additional players that are good. We fix that culture. Fixing the culture will take a summer or so. It won't take long. There'll be moments where the ownership have to come in and push hard, but it doesn't take long to flush out the nonsense at a football club if you kind of start on the right foot, as it were. So I don't think United have a problem signing players. What we can't do is be stupid and spend £150 million on one player, because that would waste too much of the budget. And of course, we've got no chance of signing the absolute best in the world in certain positions right now when everybody's competing for them. I don't see that. As much as I would love that to be true, that isn't going to be plausible for us. But Ivan Toney's, Thuram's, Paulinia's, sorry, we can.